Hello YouTube, Mr. Gibson Guy here. New video for you today. Now I have done a series of videos about motorcycle jackets. I have 6 leather motorcycle jackets. I have 3 non-leather motorcycle jackets. And today, something that's a variation on the theme, I also have ended up having 3 leather motorcycle vests, or known in motorcycle language as kuttes. Cut, if you don't know, comes from the idea riders try to distinguish themselves a long time ago in motorcycle clubs. They would wear like a denim jacket, and maybe they were in Southern California, or it was warm out, and they cut the sleeves off of it and just wore it like it was a vest. And that was kind of the beginning of the cut. Only for motorcycle speak, we spell it K-U-T-T-E, like a kutte, but it's a vest at any rate. Now, my experience with vests is the first 50 years that I rode motorcycles. I didn't really think anything about wearing a vest on a motorcycle. Either it was hot and you wore a t-shirt, or it was cold and you wore a jacket. And a vest is kind of like, was that warm or cold? And I just kind of was turned off by the whole thing. And it wasn't for the first 50 years, but then when I started watching the TV show Sons of Anarchy, and they make a pretty big deal out of their cuts. That's their uniforms. They're their own kind of soldier, kind of a gang soldier, and that's how they appear all the time. They come to the table, they have to have their cut on. They're not a uniform if they're not wearing it. And that first opened my eyes up a little bit to the idea of the cut being something that is a reflection of your motorcycle riding. And you go somewhere, you put your cut on, you ride your motorcycle, you get there, you get off your bike, you walk around, you do whatever it is that you're doing there, and you're wearing your cut the whole time. And then you get back on your bike and you ride home, and at the end of the night you take it off. But that's part of your persona as a motorcyclist. And after seeing it on TV and kind of turned the light on, I became aware of that. So a leather vest or a cut is a real big deal to a lot of people on motorcycles, and it can be a fun part of it, something that's additional to it. Now, let me tell you how I got mine, how I came into possession of 3. I didn't plan to get 3. I thought I would just get 1 originally. And as I said, I'd been watching Sons, and so I went to Cycle Gear and looked up what they had in store, and looked up online, and they had some cuts and some leather vests, and they were kind of nice, and they were all running $100 to $200 on there. And I thought, well, that's a lot for a part of a motorcycle jacket that doesn't have sleeves. And so I just kind of felt bad about it for a while, and then one day I had a crazy idea. Why don't I look online and see what I can find? So I went on to Amazon or something, and I found for 50, 60 bucks you can get a cut just like what you were getting at Cycle Gear, only for about 1/3 of the price, half to a third, and basically it's the same thing. This one is kind of a known name here, Dream Apparel. I don't know if they're still around. They were around long enough for me to get this one. This one's kind of heavy. Well, there's a reason for it, but this looked like just what I'd seen on TV, and the price was right, so I bought it. And that got me in to a motorcycle vest. So I had one, and I had a Harley Davidson, so I'd wear it whenever I'd ride my Harley Davidson. I'd wear it sometimes on the Triumph, not really on the Yamaha, BMW, no. Ducati, no, I'm not wearing a vest on that. But on the Triumph or the Harley, which are like my two preferred bikes, it worked really well. Then time passed, and the grandfather of a student of mine who used to ride, he came with his grandson one day, and he said, you know, I don't ride anymore, and I've had this sitting in the closet for years. You can have it. And this is not a cut. This is a real vest. Leather vest with 2 pockets in it, snaps on the front. It doesn't come all the way up to the neck and attach, and of course your shoulders are exposed on this like any vest. But it's light, and it doesn't keep you warm at all, but in kind of medium temperatures in the 70s, 80s, maybe a little higher, you can get away with wearing this, where those other ones are just too heavy and too cumbersome and cover you too much. And then just recently, I don't know, a month or so ago, month or two, not too long ago, I thought, hey, I'm done. I wanted a cut, I've got a cut, and I've got a vest. But those of you who've watched my other videos on leather jackets know that I don't care for black leather. Both of these units are black leather. What I really like is brown leather. And so, of course, one day I turned on the internet, and you get pop-up ads all the time. And I don't know why this had to happen, but poof, there was this jacket, this vest, cut in brown leather. And I thought, no, you can't do this to me. And the price, it was like 55 bucks, something like that. Same price as the black one that I had. And it looked really nice. It's a little bit different looking for a cut. I'm going to try all these on. I'm just kind of giving you a close-up view of them to see from the first place. But there I had one that I just couldn't pass up. If it had been over 60 bucks, I could have talked myself into it. But under, it's like, no, I'm going to have to get it. I have to get it. And there's another reason, you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so I bought that. Now, let me digress just for a moment here while we're into the motorcycle culture and talking about all this. Because, as I said, I got on with the vest late, after 50 years of riding, with getting a Harley. After 50 years of riding. It was not the kind of riding that I ever even thought about. Until you see it on TV, and then you're like, wow, it was kind of cool. And what happens is, I had another student, an adult student, who rode Harleys, and he was in this, I'm not going to say an MC, it was more of a riding club. It was like, we all have motorcycles, so we meet in this parking lot every Sunday at 9 o'clock, and we go ride to a restaurant. We all eat out, and then we all go home, or we go to the Harley dealer or something. And he kept telling me, you should come ride with us. Come on, ride, it's fun. Just try it one time. And so finally I decided I put the guy off long enough, I should go do it. And so I knew they were riding Harley, so I got on my Bonneville and put on my leather jacket. It was a really cold morning in January. And I showed up and met the guys, and there was about, I don't know, a dozen, 15 guys and motorcycles, almost all Harley Davidsons. But this was the club. They were called the BBs, and all they had is they had their Sunday ride, and then we would do like a Christmas party in December, holiday party, and everybody bring some food and get together. And that was the extent of the club, really. Some of the people went off and they would go to Leesburg for Bike Week and some Biketoberfest and stuff in Florida. But that was it. But this is the point of this, why I digress into this, talking about the bike culture. When I met all these guys, and then they said, all right, let's go. And we just all peel out of the parking lot, go down the street, downtown Boca, head to A1A and turn left and go north. And, or turn left, turn right and go south, go down to Broward County. But the very first time I did this, when we turned on the straightaway there down on the beach road, and everybody just opened it up, and you have about 15 Harleys, and you know, an Indian and a Triumph, maybe a Honda, few, but basically all Harleys, and all of them with the mufflers on. And you just go rumbling down the road like that, the whole gang. It was, right at that moment, I pictured this, I've seen this on TV, and now I'm actually doing it. And for all different types of motorcycling that I've done, I have never done this. And the feeling of this, just everybody rumbling down the road on Harleys, and you know, I couldn't wait to come back the next week and bring my Harley, so it sounded as good as them, because the Triumph was kind of quiet. We wanted it to be loud. And every Sunday we would go to different places. And I remember the first time we were driving down south into Pompano Beach, and down there it's like condos on both sides, the big high-rises, and you're just going through this canyon. And all these bikes are just rumbling the whole alley here. And it's Sunday morning, all these tourists are all going to the beach, which you can see from here. It's right over there. And everybody's out, and everybody stops whatever they're doing when they hear this roaring rumble coming at them. And they all just stand there. And then you get there and you go by, vroom, 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 and all the kids are waving, and the parents are like, wow, look at that. And you become part of the scenery. You are part of the whole beach experience here. That these people are there, and they're going to the beach, and they see all these guys on big bikes going by. And it's like, wow, look at this. It's like a ride on Disney World, and you're part of it. And so doing that, most of these guys have vests or kuttes, and they've ridden all over the place, and they got patches sewn on all over the place, from all over their vests. And whatever jeans or t-shirts or sweaters or jackets they're wearing, they're always going to have that vest on. And it's part of the camaraderie. They love it, and it's awesome to be a part of it. And I realized all that when I first experienced it. And after that, it's like Sunday morning, I can't wait to go ride with the BBs. Where are we going to go this week? This is going to be so fun. And then sometimes, eventually we had to kind of split the group up, because we were getting like 30 people riding with it with us on Sundays, and we couldn't keep everybody together with stoplights. They kept breaking off. And you know, there's fun places, like we would arrive down at the restaurants on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale, and we were coming down in 20-something bikes, and they're all driving down the road, and they stop and back up into their place, and the next guy stops and they back up into their place, and the next thing you know, you got 20 motorcycles lined up like this. And all the local people come down and they're like, look at this. Are we charming? Look at this. This is amazing. And you're part of it. And, you don't have to kill anybody. You know, those sort of things we don't do. But riding, the camaraderie of riding with all these other guys, and just the enjoyment of the ride, the trip together, and then having breakfast together. great fellowship. It was a really great thing to do. Now, I don't live there anymore, but I moved up when I retired, but I miss it. I miss those guys. It's really fun. Let's see. Now, uses for the motorcycle vest. This is a Renegade vest. Always get caught right here. And it fits me pretty good. This is just your most basic vest. Because, as I said, it doesn't snap up to the collar. Everything's loose there. It's just a vest. And if it's in pretty warm weather, you'll be comfortable wearing one of these over your t-shirt or whatever you're wearing. I usually cover my arms because I don't want to get all sunburned. Getting too old for doing that. My arms have been sunburned too many times. But the basic vest doesn't have any pockets, nothing for your cell phone. It's just got these two outer pockets, and you could carry a Derringer in there. That would fit, but don't expect a quick draw with that. Or you could fit a EAA Mini 22 revolver, something like that would fit in there. Neither one of those are really very suitable concealed carry weapons. They're small, so you can conceal them, but they're ballistically not very good. If you're considering that as part of your requirements, if you're not going to carry a gun in it, then and you don't have to, then you don't do that. My original cut here. Now this works well when you're going out into some chilly weather and you wear a hoodie under it, or a flannel shirt, or a t-shirt, something like that. And this one you can seal up a whole lot better. All places on motorcycles are smooth. They don't make tables out of them. Okay. And it's got a good zipper on it. Snaps. You can block the air from coming in here pretty successfully, and you got a pretty good collar too to give you cut off air. Doesn't do anything to your arms though. So you got to have gloves and gauntlets and jacket sleeves and stuff like that. Has outer hand warmer pockets. There's my sunglasses. There are glasses everywhere here, which are comfortable when it's cold or you want to put your hands someplace. Also, in this one, this has the hidden pockets here, snap pocket here, and it's got a zippered pocket here, which, no, here, oh, to the other one. So it has a cell phone pocket right here. I have the cell phone in it. And this particular jacket has a regular gun loop pocket in it. Carry a P238 and another loop for a spare magazine. So you can carry 7 shots in your gun and then another 6 or 7 if you have an extended magazine outside of that. Now, this is one of the things I wanted to mention. This jacket here has the gun straps, the nylon elastic gun straps and magazine strap attached here to the body of the vest. The other ones put that inside of the pocket. Now the problem is this the vest itself is pretty sturdy, pretty stiff, so it's very easy to draw out of. If you put your jacket, if your gun goes into a pocket that's on this pocket flap, it's just canvas, and it's not as good to be able to pull out your firearm in a hurry, and a concealed carry gun is only drawn in a hurry. So that, to me, is the preferred method. Now this, it has the same pockets, 2 snaps here, so you can get in there just fine, but the gun goes into a strap that is part of the pocket, not on the actual vest itself. So this one, it's hard to get the gun lined up to go into the pocket, and it's hard to draw it out. So I don't care for that design on this. So it's there, also it feels kind of bulky. Now, other than that, you take out the gun part of it. Oh, and I showed you what I was hiding there for the end. And other than that, this vest, which is jackets for bikes. This is a lighter weight. It's a nicer feeling leather. They're both leather, but this one feels better. And probably in colder weather, which is not really vest weather, the black one would be better. But this one being lighter means I can use it a lot more in the warmer days. So I do this. Now, oh yeah, another thing is this. This is the vest, the cut that I wear to ride my Harley. And isn't that nice? It has a Screaming Eagle and Harley Davidson on it. And there's a little Harley Davidson here and a pin that my girlfriend gave me there of a kind of a chopper cruiser bike. So I wore this to ride the Harley. And then when I got this brown jacket, then I went and I ordered, it's hard to get, it came from France, but I got this kind of a Union Jack patch for Triumph motorcycles. So this I wear on the Triumph. So I have a motorcycle vest for each of those bikes, which are the bikes that are appropriate for wearing a vest or a cut on. And that's it. Yeah. Last thing I will say, because add this to it. If you put a Screaming Eagle on the back of your vest and Harley Davidson, you're a Harley Davidson fan, then that's fine. Nobody's going to have any problem with that. If you put a Union Jack and Triumph on your back of your vest, your cut, nobody's going to have any problem with that. But, and I'm not really the source of information for this, I'm just kind of dropping this hint here. Don't get a vest and decide you're going to put a Death's Head on it, or Hell's Angels, or the Sons of Anarchy, or anything like that. You don't want top and bottom rockers. Don't do that. You don't want to have a mascot, anything like that. A brand of motorcycle is okay. You know, you're going to get away with that. You like that Ducati, or you like Triumph. something like that is okay. But you are really stepping on some toes if you try putting top and bottom rockers and flying colors. You don't want to do that unless you are in a club that has those colors. So just be careful about that. You can check on YouTube. There'll be a lot of videos on there giving you plenty of warning about that. Put your bike on the back of your jacket, something like that, and be proud of that. And that's great. But don't try to look like you're in a MC, especially in one percenters or not one percenters, whichever one, unless you are in a real established motorcycle club. Don't try to emulate one. Okay? All right, so whole new additional experience to add to your motorcycling with your own cut or your own vest. And until next time, this is Mr. Gibson Guy. I'll see you later.